Hey everybody, thank you for joining and thank you, Nadir. So it's an honor to be introduced as the primal champ of our department. So thank you for that. So my aim today is to share practical experience I've developed at CPUT while integrating Primal Pictures, and we're shifting basically from a supplementary tool to like a pillar or building block of our curriculum, as you will see going further. Nadir, can you advance the slides for me? So I just a brief background of me. I've been with MITS for the past 4 years. I've been teaching human sciences, which is an integrated anatomy and physiology subject. And prior to the current pedagogy, we've been using textbooks and some online platforms, but not extensively as an educational tool as we've been using Primal Pictures. So publications and research, I'm currently busy with projects ranging from artificial intelligence, pedagogical tools, and also clinical research projects that I'm currently running as well, with regards to remote image acquisition and the whole digital imaging era. And then also, why did CPUT find the need to develop, or what motivated us to basically integrate Primal Pictures into our curriculum, and I moved from the textbook and lab sessions when we're getting the job done. So the truth of the matter is here that the evidence was staring us right in the face in our feedbacks forms and our critically evaluations, and our student outcomes as well was very important here for us. Nadir, you can go to the next slide. So basically, we checked for alignment with what Primal Pictures, what existed in Primal Pictures already and what existed in our historic subject guides. And we found alignment in there, and the content was detailing insight and evidence. We found our students, particularly in the foundational anatomy courses, they struggled with two main things, which is firstly spatial awareness. They could label a structure on a page, but couldn't visualize it in a 3D space. And a lot of studies has been done prior to this, particularly an interesting study from a previous lecturer of mine, Mrs. Delian Fenter, who did a study on three-dimensional thinking and the ability or affinity of your outcomes as a professional when you have this ability or develop this ability. So second, also, they had difficulty grasping the dynamic nature of physiology specifically. And we all know that physiology is not a static concept. For example, understanding how a muscle contracts or how a joint moves, it requires seeing the process unfolding, not just reading a description from a textbook. And this is what tickles my interest so much with all of these technologies. We've got augmented reality, we've got virtual reality, all of these resources, and these children come with an affinity to, I shouldn't say children because they're not children, but they come with an affinity to expand or be creative with digital technology, and why not do it in an educational setting as well. Now you can go to the next slide, Nadir. Our content. So here on this next slide, you see what learning outcomes align specifically with module one, and from module 1 to module 4 of our human science subject, which has an NQF level of 5 at this BSc level. Just one topic that I covered here that I'm going to use as an example was the body plan and organization, which covers basic processes that distinguish living things, define each of the basic life processes. It covers the hierarchical organization for structure of the human body, and also identifying each system. And we briefly touch on each system. And we go into detail in a further module, and then we revert back, and we can actually use the platform interchangeably, as Nathir will explain to you as well with a hands-on session. And then also, if you go to the next slide, Nathir, so those were our learning outcomes that aligned exactly with our study guides, or study guides that I found since I started with CPUT. And then also topics to be covered. So what I do with this information, I basically put it in a table in my study guide, so that each and every student knows in the beginning of the year, here's my study guide, here's the learning outcomes for this module, here is the subject content to be covered in this module, and this one specifically, body plan and organization. They can see exactly there the introduction to the body plan, structural organization, human body systems that's related, and a very important topic, homeostasis, that I think is across the faculty, in our faculty. And then also anatomical language, which is so important for us when we're working in radiation therapy. Those type of positional terminology and direction terminology, all of those things are embedded and detailed. And I actually embedded a link of Primal Pictures into my study guide as easy access that they can access from a device or from any device. Okay, if you go to the next slide, Nadir, so the next slide is also my teaching activities that I am still expanding. I'm still a very, very young academic. And I must say academia is quite a daunting profession to be in, and we always struggle with time. So I'm still, hence I'm saying I'm still expanding this aspect. So currently, lectures, students visit the sites, the websites that I give them, the links to each and every course is there on the platform as well. Worksheets are there. We've got even embedded into the platform, we've got little coloring pages, which is also, I'm also a visual learner. So coloring a structure while I'm labeling it is quite an, how can I say, enjoyable activity that I would have found in my undergrad education. Okay, so those are my teaching activities. And the next slide, Nathir, is very, very text intensive. We're not going to go through all of that. Those are just my assessment criteria that when I looked at historic tests that I inherited from previous lecturers and my slides as well, and I looked at what Primal Pics have, it aligned perfectly, and I found that I could actually generate my scope of my test. You know, students always ask you, sir, what is the scope? Why are we going to be writing on shame? I don't want to be one of those people that say there's no scope, just study everything, because I'm teaching applied anatomy, applied physiology most of the time, but we also evolving that. We're going transdisciplinary, and we'll see where that goes. But the point of the slide is all of these assessment criteria that's in my study guide. I can actually give that to them in the beginning of the year. Don't ask me for a scope of the test. All your information is there, and all of this information comes from Primal Pics that aligned with our previous study guide. Thank you, Nathir. You can go to the next slide. There we have just a little quiz that I want to demonstrate to you as well, that I created through Microsoft Forms. And it is just some feedback with regards to our, oops, sorry, that's the wrong link. I just want to share my screen. Will I be able to share, Nathir?
Yes, you should be able to, Georgell.
Okay, I just want to open the survey that I did, just to show you a little overview of their satisfaction with regards to the platform. The one major advantage I have with the platform is its accessibility to everyone. If they access it through our library, through our LMS, It's completely free, as opposed to a 3,000 Rand textbook that they use for 1 year and then they struggle to sell it. And we all know that our community is from a previously disadvantaged group that we serve. And then if you look at, just let me know if you can see my screen.
Georgell, would you mind trying to, there we go. It should be uploading. There we go. So we should be able to see
Okay.
it now.
Are you seeing my team screen or are you seeing my Primal Pix usage survey?
We're currently seeing your usage form.
Okay, there we go. So I've received from a cohort of 65 students. I received 32 responses, and this is just the cohort and the qualifications that I teach in my class: diagnostic radiography, ultrasound, nuclear medicine technology, and radiation therapy. Our diagnostic group is usually the biggest group, and as you can see there. Then I've got some questions. How many times do they use Primal Pix? And because of the textbook situation, they have to use it weekly. And what I've done is on the HOD's, with the HOD's permission, we've allocated a space on our timetable for completion of these courses or these modules. Whenever we complete a module or a section, then there's a quiz at the end, or the little coloring activity, or the little labeling activity. It's communicated in the beginning of the year. This is the process. This is what is going to be expected of you. And these are the questions that I actually use in the test as well, in combination with the one that I showed you, that labor intensive slide, the text intensive slide that I showed you earlier. Then also, when you use Primal Pictures, where do you primarily access the platform? And you can see the personal laptop or desktop computer is the primary access, and that is what is nice for me. They can, from the comfort of their house or the bus stop or the taxi or wherever they are, they can sit whenever they have time. We know how valuable time is. Then also how many hours we've seen in the survey. I saw that I had, from those 32 responses, more than 100, 4 to 16. And then also you can see the results speak for itself. There's quite a diverse response in that question as well. And then the rest of it is still evolving. As I say, I've got a 65 population or cohort in this group. So responses are still coming in slow given this time of the year. I'm going to stop sharing. And that is also how you can monitor while you're using Primal Pictures, because their platform is also live as it comes in.